Good morning. It is Saturday, 10 a.m. and I am trying to record this video before the sun goes down because I do not have light in my apartment. It's not a joke. Who the hell am I? I am Dr. Shereene Idriss, a cosmetic dermatologist based in New York City, and welcome to my YouTube channel where every Saturday morning we do a Pillow Talk Derm and we dive in deep on a subject that you guys really inspire me with. And I get this inspiration from the comment section below, from questions that you guys ask, from trends that I see on social, and especially through my practice. So before jumping in, make sure to subscribe, comment, and like the video. If you have not put on the notifications, I don't know what you're waiting for, but put on the notifications so that you can get notified whenever a new video goes on. So today I thought I would shift gears a tiny bit because I've seen a lot of confusion on social in my practice about sensitive skin. And how exactly do you tailor your skincare routine when you have sensitive skin, and how do you navigate the skincare world when you have sensitive skin? Now, sensitive skin can be anybody with, depending on your skin type, meaning oily skin can have sensitive skin, people with dry skin can have sensitive skin, combination skin can have sensitive skin. I don't even know what normal skin is. That's one I've struggled with. If you want to watch my video below, I'll link it, about how to tell what your skin type is, you can. But sensitive skin are those people who are very reactive, regardless of really what you put on their skin. And this is one of a pet peeve of mine when I see reviews on products online where the review goes like, "This is the worst product on earth. My face got so red and irritated by this product." It might have been the worst product on earth for you, but it doesn't necessarily mean it is the worst product, period. People with sensitive skin tend to react, and they don't react in the same way as the majority of people do to products that shouldn't really be so reactive. But what exactly do I mean? I mean that when you use a product, do you get a flare up of redness, irritation? Do you break out with little tiny pustules or tiny little bumps on your face? Do you feel like you have to approach very cautiously when you're using a product, because it's like literally walking on landmines and you don't know if you put it in this product into your skincare routine, is your face gonna erupt? And I also think people with rosacea, which is the adult form of acne, are more predisposed to sensitive skin and they must approach cautiously. So here are my 5 top tips on what to do if you have sensitive skin. Starting with number 1, back to the basics. When in doubt, cut it out. 100%. If you don't even know why you're using a product, or you're just having FOMOs, fear of missing out on skincare, take a step back, look at your face in the mirror. Does it look happy? If it doesn't look happy, cut it out. All you really need in a skincare routine is 3 basics. A basic cleanser, a basic moisturizer, a basic sunscreen. And we could talk about the sunscreen in a second. But what do I mean by basic cleanser? You do not need a cleanser with actives. Truly, the only people who really need a cleanser with actives are the ones who are prone to breakouts. Acne breakouts with a lot of blackheads, whiteheads, pustules, inflammatory lesions, etc. Otherwise, you don't really need a cleanser with actives. And what you're doing when you're using a cleanser with actives, you are washing the dinero down the drain. Unless you let it sit on your face for a couple of minutes. But I mean, unless you have active acne, I don't know why you would be doing that. So the point of a cleanser is to cleanse your face, not to overstrip your skin of its oils and pH, etc., but to wash your face and wash the crud off. Personally, I recommend using it at night, okay? At the end of the day, to wash your day off. Otherwise, in the morning, if you're not somebody who's very, very oily, then I say you can almost skip the cleanser and just wash your face with water. Now, what kind of cleansers do I love? I've talked about this baby a bajillion times. Is it the best cleanser since sliced bread? No, it's not. Like, if you have professional makeup like I have on today, because I was doing something earlier today, for those of you wondering why I look slightly more enhanced, it's professional makeup. But cleansers like Vanicream are great for the day to day. They help wash your face without overstripping your face. Are they gonna get all the makeup off? They're probably not, but that's okay. And if you have sensitive skin, I would definitely look for this type of cleanser. If you don't know what you wanna look for something with the National Eczema Association seal on it, because chances are that is geared towards sensitive skin. This particular one is literally free of everything. I don't really know what's in it. It's free of dyes, fragrance, masking fragrance, which I like that they point that out. Lanolin, parabens, formaldehyde releasers, because formaldehyde releasers can sometimes be irritating. So I would definitely make sure to check out Vanicream next time you go to any Duane Reade, Target, or CVS. And they don't have to be expensive. I think this one costs like $8 with inflation, maybe $9. Not sure. I will check and I will link it below. When you're looking for a moisturizer as well, if you have just sensitive skin that you are trying to find the right balance for, before starting to target problems like brown spots, look for calming, soothing moisturizers. All right, not things with actives specifically targeted for problems, okay? So what do I mean by that? Moisturizers with zinc. Zinc is what you use on your baby's butt. It is a soothing ingredient. So if you have a diaper rash, you pop the zinc on the tush. Same goes for your face. And I love, and I have, because I carry these all in my office, and I've spoken about this guy before. Little shameless plug of my office. Oh, my light went on. Cicaplast Baume B5 by La Roche-Posay. This is very thick. It might be a little too thick for people living in a humid environment or for daytime use. And it does have a little bit of a white cast. I recommend reserving this one for the nighttime, or in winter you can double it up in the morning and at night, especially if you are in a dry climate. But it is a great one at night, almost as a reparative moisturizer to calm everything down. Now, if you don't want to use that, then Vanicream also has a free of everything, again, I don't know what's in it, moisturizer. Also gluten-free, FYI. But this moisturizer is basically water and purified petrolatum, which is basically Vaseline, and they emulsify it so it doesn't look 100% like Vaseline, and I will show you guys the consistency. It comes off looking white, but it is more elegant than the La Roche-Posay. It is tackier, probably one that's also good for the neck, because it does lock in moisture, but it does not feel as heavy as Vaseline does. So this is a basic moisturizer that you can use. Now for sunscreen, chemical sunscreens are not inferior to physical sunscreens, or the other way around. Physical sunscreens are not superior to chemical sunscreens. Each one has their own merits and positive attributes. But if you have sensitive skin, look for a physical one. Something with zinc and titanium, especially if you're in the US, because the chemical shields that we have here are very irritating. I have very sensitive eyes, and the second I put sunscreen that is of chemical nature and I rub my eyes by accident, I literally start to tear like crazy and I cannot tolerate it. Now, if you have sensitive skin, you might break out a little bit from chemical sunscreens. So I would first and foremost prefer a physical sunscreen, something rich in zinc. If you're very scared and you don't know what to do, the most cosmetically unelegant physical sunscreens on the market are the ones for kids. So think baby. You literally, my kids, they look like ghosts when I apply it. It's as if I put butt paste all over their bodies, but at least you know you applied it in the right places, and it's pure, pretty much zinc, and they definitely are not reactive to it at all. So if you're super, super scared and you don't know what to do, look for that. Otherwise, I will say Dr. Jart actually has a physical sunscreen called Every Sun Day. See what they did there? It's one with zinc and titanium. And also SkinCeuticals, which I do like. I do not have, I have one here with me, has this one. You have to shake it before use. And this one is Physical Fusion UV Defense Sunscreen. It is very lightweight. And even though it is like a single tint, not necessarily a universal tint, it does go on very, very sheer and disappears, which is nice. They also have it without any tint to it. It just looks white because that's the color of zinc and titanium. Now, if you're looking for a chemical sunscreen, one that I've fallen in love with is the Beauty of Joshan. I do not know how it is legal that Stylevana or other retailers online are selling this and shipping this to the US. I do not want to raise the red flag as of yet because I am reaping the benefit and getting the product, which is not correct, but I honestly do not know how they're sending this to the US. They're not allowed to be shipping sunscreens in the US, at least not from my understanding of it, because they're not FDA approved filters. But that being said, full disclosure, I love it. It goes on seamlessly. It goes on so smoothly. It is like butter. and just so elegant and watery. Not really like butter, because butter would be oilier. So it's like a watery butter, but it's so elegant and just so pretty, and it does not irritate my eyes at all. Otherwise, I do recommend the Supergoop Play, which you can buy in the US. But again, just be careful if you have sensitive eyes. Word of caution. Number 2, always, 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 depending on how sensitive you are on the spectrum, this being not sensitive, this being crazy sensitive, if you're here on the spectrum, then patch test every product, including the basics. Now, if you're more towards here, then patch test chemical exfoliants, patch test retinols, and patch test products with a lot of actives, if you're more in the middle end of the spectrum. So what do I mean by patch test? Patch testing is very simple. I'm going to show you utilizing the sunscreen. Basically, what you want to do is take a small amount of product, something like this, and remember a spot that you're going to apply it to. Now, most people break out on their cheeks, forehead, etc. If you want to test it on your forehead, knock yourself out. I would prefer that you test on the periphery of your face so that most people don't see it. But basically, remember exactly where you're applying your product, put it in a little circle, let it bake overnight. Bake meaning let it just sit in your skin, let it sit on your face overnight, and see how you wake up the next day. If you have a reaction, probably not for you. If you have no reaction, then at least you can test it out on the rest of your face now. You would have dipped your toes before diving in. But if you are super reactive, then this tip is for you. Do this patch test at least twice. Because the first time you're introduced to a product, you might get sensitized to it. So make sure you do it a second time to see that if upon application, your skin freaks out before putting it all over your face and looking like your face just threw up on you, okay? That is what I recommend, to always patch test, especially when it comes to chemical exfoliants, because people, particularly with rosacea, right, can't tolerate so many different chemical exfoliants like lactic acid or glycolic acid. Mandelic is probably the one that they can because it's the largest one and the one that is least likely to go deep and cause a lot of exfoliation. Tip number 3. If you don't know where to start, go slow. Introduce one product at a time. Let this week be the week that you try out only sunscreen on your face in the morning. And that is it, okay? Wash your face at night. Make sure that you're not irritating your face. Then over a couple of days or maybe the next week, try out the cleanser and make sure that you're using the cleanser and it's not irritating you. If you know that you're tolerating the sunscreen, you can marry the cleanser to the nighttime routine to see how you do. But again, if you're uber sensitive, then just do one thing at a time, secure that you can tolerate it, and move on to adding the next. I think it is a very, very logical thing when it comes to people with sensitive skin, but people do not have time these days, nor do we have patience, okay? It is not our forte in the 21st century, just not. I was gonna say 22nd century. 21st century, we're not there yet. Number 4, different claims to look out for. So I was actually very proud to see on Vanicream that they are free of fragrance. So that basically means fragrance free, but they also went a step further to mention free of masking fragrance, because oftentimes you will see fragrance free and then you will see unscented, but unscented is not the same thing as fragrance free. Now he has to make a cameo every single week in these videos. He has to sit down and drag his feet. God, he's annoying. But my kitchen counter is a mess, because we are gonna be in the process of hopefully moving soon. Who the hell knows? It's just a mess. With that being said, fragrance-free and unscented are two very different things. If you're very sensitive, look for fragrance-free. Do not be fooled by the unscented claims, because unscented is basically something with a masking fragrance, something that blocks the scent that a product naturally has so that it doesn't have a smell, but it can technically still have a scent. So don't go for unscented, go for fragrance-free. Other things to look for, hypoallergenic is also an important claim to look out for. I would say anti-inflammatory, anti-redness, things that are geared towards rosacea are also things that you want to look out for that can help you in the process of trying to figure it out. And then last, my number 5 tip is read the Inky list and get a PhD. No, I'm kidding, but not. Read the Inky list. The more you know, the more empowered you are, the better you understand products and how they work for you. And I think the more you know, the better you're gonna serve your skin. So hopefully through videos like mine and other people on the webospheres who are actually qualified, educated, and giving you science-backed, research-backed information, you are gonna learn how to help yourself better. Because in the INCI list, you can at least find out what is in your product. But don't be fooled by active versus inactive ingredients. Inactive ingredients can also cause some people with sensitive skin to break out, because at the end of the day, we are not all created equal. And what works for me may not necessarily work for you. And so that's why you just have to be a little bit smarter about what you're reading. And if at the end of the day, you are constantly flaring up, constantly getting reactive, go see a dermatologist or an allergist for a patch test. What are they? It's when we stick a bunch of different patches with a bunch of different chemicals on your back and let it sit for 48 hours where you're not allowed to wash your back, and then you take it off, and then we see what your skin reacts to, and we get you come back 24 hours later to see if anything is still lighting up. And that way we know as physicians to let you know exactly what you are responding to. And sometimes you don't react to anything at all, but that is not weird because you still learn something valuable through the process. So that, I would say, I reserve for those who are extremely reactive, extremely sensitive, and they do not know what to put on their face because they are constantly flaring up. And with that, I am Dr. Shereene Idriss. I hope you guys learned a thing or two today. I hope this video was helpful on how to actually tailor your skincare routine, and I will catch you guys next week. Have a great Saturday.